Hi, I'm Sifu Nathan Head, founder of Head Academy, and this is Sifu Azzy from the Strathfield Academy. Today we have a really special video for all of our students and those who are interested out there in YouTube land. We're going to take Kung Fu forms and the techniques in the Kung Fu forms, and we're going to take them from the forms through applications all the way to free sparring for you in this video. So if you're interested in learning how to take traditional Kung Fu and then work out and train it so that you can use it in self-defense or free sparring, then this is the video for you. So stick around. Sifu Azzy and I, we're going to have some fun punching on. He's got a bit of an advantage. I'm an old man now, so he's the young whippersnapper. He's probably going to beat me up today, but that's okay. I'll let him do it.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some applications, which is a portion of the form, and we're going to show you all of the levels that we take it through and all of the pieces of the puzzle required to get that effective in sparring and self-defense. The sentences we're going to use today are from our first level form, Sparring Kun, which is our white sash form, and also a sentence from Small Tiger, or Siu Fok Fu Kun.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these applications, and we're doing some short ones today. So there are only 2 or 3 steps to allow you to see and make it more simple for you to get the whole process into this one video. Jalgar is famous and well known for its variety and continuous attack. So normally our sentences or the techniques we would use would be up to 10 or 12 moves long, the more advanced you get. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to simplify it down and do only 2 or 3 steps so that you can see that process in action. And the reason why we only take 1 or 2 techniques when we're practicing implementing our applications to sparring is it's like sharpening a knife. If you wanted to sharpen a knife, you're not going to take them all out of the drawer and try and sharpen them all at one time. It's a good way to get cut, right? So if you want to really get ownership over the techniques that you want to use in self-defense or sparring, you need to sharpen them 1 or 2 techniques at a time. And I'm going to show you later on in the video with Azzy how you're probably going to get nailed a few times while you're practicing this, right? But the idea is to work out how to take all of these awesome techniques from the beauty of our forms through to being able to use them for effective self-defense, and even if you wish, into that free sparring, as we said. So let's get into it, eh? Yeah. So,
This guy.
Serious Kung Fu is serious business.
Come on, get serious now.
I'm serious. Go.
Okay, so we're going to talk first about the first piece of the puzzle, which is your form. The forms have been passed down to us, and they are a form of shadow boxing. So that's like fighting. There's no one there to fight, so you have to fight your own shadow. You're going to visualize what the moves are for. Now, your teacher shouldn't just show you the moves and then hope that you can understand. They should be telling you all the way through what the movements are for. Now, why is it so important to start with form or shadow boxing, as you might understand in the Western tradition? It is really important because you need to have the movements down pat. Once you get to fighting, self-defense or sparring, it's a chaotic, stressful situation in which you are in danger, even if it's simulated danger. And in that kind of circumstance, with that kind of pressure, no more than 60% of what you practice will come out. So if you make the best move that you've ever done, your stances are strong, you're down low, and you feel powerful when there's nobody there. As soon as you have someone swinging at you, it's a whole different story, and it's not going to be as perfect. So we need to practice it as perfectly as we can.
Exactly. So what you practice in your forms needs to be as close to 100% of your ability at that time in your development. So when you go to put it into practice in application and sparring, it's going to be a shadow of that quality basically, isn't it? So you need to really work on the quality in your forms when you're not under pressure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's show you the 2 sentences we're going to do today. We're going to do one from each foot forward in a bow stance guard. The first one looks like this. It's from our white sash form, and it is cha ra, boom, and gua choi. That's number 1. Number 2 is going to be with the left foot forward. You start in the guard as well, same centered guard. We're going to come back, and again, you can put your hand to the waist. I'll show you that first. Circle, and we're going to strike with a tiger claw, back. And then also you can have the hand in the center like this. Hand in the center, coming back, circle, and claw. Okay, so that's step one. We've done your form, and we'll move on to step two.
Okay, so the next step is putting the application into practice with a partner. So, of course, you need a pliable, willing partner with which to practice your Kung Fu on. Now, when we start out with the application, what we're doing is it's not realistic at all. It's not even anywhere near close to self-defense or sparring. Our partner is acting like our shadow. We took the form. Now our partner's just being pliable and doing exactly what we need them to do to practice the finesse of our technique on somebody else. So, for instance, that would look like this. So, as he demonstrated the Chow Da technique, we need to talk about guards.
Yep.
We do, don't we? So, I'm going to have my guard like this. If you want to learn about guards, go to the video on guards. But I'm going to start out with my guard slightly to my left of center. The reason for that is I'm leaving a hole here, but I'm also leaving a hole here because I want to invite Azzy over this arm, okay? Not worrying about this gap for now. Today, look at the guards video. Beautiful. So I'm inviting Azzy over this hand basically, and that's where I have my Chow Da technique first. Now I'm not planning one on him right now, I'm working that. Now because I'm on the inside of his arm, he has another hand here. So I'm going to block and step behind that block and continue on with the next technique. If he's still there or not, I'm just going to do my third technique no matter what, which is the parry down and then the Gua Choi, and moving forward and hitting into that Gua Choi technique there. Okay, so literally Sifu Azzy now is just feeding me what I need to get the feel of this technique. So I'm in my guard, I go 1, 2, and I'm just moving through, making sure I work my distancing, getting the feel for, oh, where's his legs, where's my feet, how do I do it? Making sure every part of the technique is executed as close to the form quality as I can. So that again, 1 here. So you'll notice now, here, if I was to step forward and then do my block, I'm going to get chipped here by this shot. So 1, you see the block comes out before I'm moving into Sifu Azzy there. So these are the things you need to work out about how does this technique work? When is it okay to use this technique? We have hundreds of techniques in Kung Fu, and it's like you just can't pull out any technique when you want. You need to work out when and how to use it. If you're trying to use a technique in the wrong instance, you're going to think that it doesn't work, but it's just that you're not using it in the right moment, okay? So again, your partner is literally just feeding you the techniques and you're moving through them and working that, and then you'll start slow like movie Kung Fu, just super slow, and then seeing and feeling what has to happen before each technique. Obviously, you block and clear before you move in. And then you gradually just speed it up so that you're like 1, 2, 3, boom. We don't stop. So even if they're not throwing punches, so, you know, if I'm faster than Azzy, not likely, I'm just going to keep going with that technique until I finish the particular sentence that I want to do, okay? So that was number 1 technique. I'll just show you that again in case you want to practice this. So slowly, it's the guard first, feet and hands. First technique. Second technique, clear and then strike. Finish the stance. That's where our power comes from. Don't walk into a punch. Good advice. Parry that down. Stepping through and then moving into your Gua Choi, finishing your stance so it's nice and strong. So that's the first technique, taking it from in the air to working it with a partner. Not realistic at all, but it's helping you to get the feel of what it's like to actually put it up against a person. Let's have a look at the second technique now.
I work a center guard, similar to what I worked in the last one. So, Sifu Nathan here is going to punch me in the face because he just loves it. And I'm going to come back. As you see, the first part is I step away because I'm not sure what's going to happen. I feel like I'm in danger and I want to make a little bit of space. So I come back. Boom. Now, we're about to do a circle. All the circle is making sure you don't get punched on your way in. Because if you're like, oh, look at that, look at those juicy eyeballs. I want to get my fingers in there, and I just go, huh? Oh, see ya. So I've come back. I've blocked. And I'm going to make sure everything is safe. I can take his arm the whole way around, and then I can come, follow up with the hands. Maybe he throws a couple of punches. I come back, 1, 2, whoa, that's right. So you see, I wasn't sure what he's going to do, so I just do the circle, as we say always when we teach and train. Trust the circle. You come back, one, and I circle, boom, and then I come forward with my counter attack. Okay, let's see that a bit slowly. I come back, boom, he's gonna punch one, maybe he's gonna punch another time, and then I'm gonna get my fingers in there.
All right, so the point of this technique again is that I'm feeding Sifu Azzy what he needs to practice it. I'm not trying to smack him in the face yet, that comes later. So I'm just feeding him techniques. I'm doing it slow to allow him to get all the structure and everything against me so that he has a feel for what it should be like when we start to ramp up that intensity. So one more time. I didn't do anything, and he just goes again. So that's going to take us into the next section now. We know what applications we're doing. We've kind of worked them in the air in our forms. We've worked them in the air without a partner, and then we've worked them in a static situation like that with a partner who's pliable and doing what we want and just feeding us the techniques. Yeah, so now after we've done that, we're just going to stick it all together, but we need to add two important things first. Okay, so in this part now, we're going to use some basics. So we're going to start with a static drill, which we call a gate drill. And it doesn't matter whether you're white sash or where you are on your Kung Fu journey, you will have a sequence of basic blocks which you can use to give you trust and confidence in your hands, okay? Again, this isn't self-defense, so before you keyboard warriors go bananas out there, this is a drill. And this drill is designed to give you confidence and speed in your hands. And you can practice this drill up against a wall, which is fantastic. That's the way we generally start our students, up against the wall with their back against the wall so they literally can't move anywhere. And they have to get this trust in their hands. So for this drill, I'm literally only going to use a puck sao, a slap, a ju sao. I might go down and up. That's it. That's all I'm going to use. I'm not even going to use any high blocks. Just puck sao, ju sao, maybe a puck sao, maybe an on sao, pak choi sao, on sao. You know what I'm saying. Good. Excellent. Or maybe you don't. So you can stand high horse, you can stand low horse, you can stand in bow stance. But I'm going to stay static for this one. So I'm going to have my two hands. I'm going to choose either a shoulder guard or a center guard. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to start out slow. I'm just waiting for my partner to throw techniques. And I'm going to use my basic blocks. Oh, I made me use my other hands. And he's speeding up. So I'm going to use the blocks. Oh, I shouldn't have done that one. And they'll just get faster and faster as the gate drill speeds up. Then you speed up. I went to move away. See, that's training for you. So with the gate drill, all I'm doing, as you see, as he gets a little bit excited, and that's what you do as you play it. This is meant to be fun, right? So we're basically getting a feeling of what it feels like to have a guard, and when our hand moves, then I create holes, or I leave holes. So I know that I'm going to have to use this hand, or my next block on this hand to cover those holes. Now I'm open here, and here. So he's either going to come over there, or, if we go back to there, under here. So we get this feeling for where the holes are when we do our techniques, and that's the importance of the gate drills. Eventually, you'll build it up to where your partner's throwing fakes, going from slow to fast, and just varying it up. But when you first start, you start at like a 4-beat count, you know, so you're just going 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can use, sorry, I get stuck with using one hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So you're just using these blocks and the gate drill to get confidence in your ability to cover a whole range of attacks. And once you do that, it gives you the confidence to be able to take that into a moving situation, which is what we're going to do right now.
One extra point I would like to add is, as you might guess, fighting is not, and self-defense is not exclusively about using your hands. It is also about kicking, and sometimes getting close enough to grab and control each other. However, like we said, sharpen one knife at a time. We're starting with the hands and we're going to build up from there. All right, so let's take the next step in our comprehensive process for taking movements from the form to sparring. We had the static gate drill, horse, bow, cat, whatever. I'm going to be in bow stance here. Static before, he came to attack, and I just guarded. Boom, 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 bang, 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 boom, boom. All of that. Now, of course, got to add a little bit of movement. So now this is going to be moving.
So we're starting out of range. So once you start practicing the moving, you should always be practicing your ranges. So we have basic ranges are the kicking distance, which I'm inside, punching distance, which I'm outside of, and then of course once we get in here, we're in close range for grappling and body movements and presses. So we want to, at the moment we're staying out of punching range, right? Because we haven't introduced the kicks yet. So remember, this is step by step. So I'm attacking as he's doing the drill, and he's going to maintain his distance outside of punching range, yeah? Well, that was a dodgy one, wasn't it?
Sometimes you do dodgy ones.
I think it was more a dodgy strike than anything. Yeah. So, as you see, as he's waiting for me to come into his space. So what that does is create time. Now, you may not always have that distance and that time, but the idea is that you should be trying to create that space. That's the basic principles of distancing. If I can stay away from him, then he can't hit me. It's as simple as that. So, not that you'll always have that, but it should be one of the things that you train is that distancing and knowing how to judge your partner and how long their reach is and things like that. So once again, just quickly, I'm attacking as he might be a self-defense situation or step-by-step sparring. And as I come in, he can choose to block or move. Just like that. So gradually we're starting to get more and more realistic, and we're taking these techniques slowly from very unrealistic and kind of robotic to more freestyle, so that we're learning how to use it in a situation where we don't know what's coming, right, from our opponent or attacker. So with that in mind, in any style of martial arts, especially Jiao Bao Kung Fu, we have a set of basics which everyone should have down. And before you start sparring, your straight punches, your basic look choys, your push kicks, your side kicks, your snap kicks, you should have them as your basic arsenal of attack and defense. And on top of that is where you put all of the sentences or longer techniques like what we're showing you today. So snap kicks, push kicks, these kind of things, a chop to the throat, a punch, are all things that you use to create uncertainty with your partner. If I'm standing out here doing a gate drill, now we're going to include kicks, by the way. So now we've done our gate drill with just punches, right? I'm staying out of punching range. Now I'm going to add in the kicks. So you can do this in any style or any way you like, right? We're just combining the kicks now with the basics. So as he's scary as hell and I'm a little intimidated by him, I don't want to be running away just blatantly scared and intimidated, right? I need to be doing things that are going to make him think twice about what he wants to do. And that can be a little love tap in the groin. It can be a solid push kick in the bread basket. It can be a chop from a block where I chop in. I might just parry a chop and just give him a little don't argue in the chin or the neck. Now, it's not going to finish the situation, but as far as now we're moving into sparring, right? Not self-defense as such. Self-defense, you want to keep moving, but you also want to keep giving them stuff to think about. So if you can nail someone with a chop, finger to the eye, chop to the throat, it's going to make them think twice about what they're going to do next. So when you're sparring, this is what you need to do. So if as he's pressuring me, don't leave me alone, and I might rock back, throw up a snap kick. If he's if he's starting out of range and he's charging in at me a lot, I might put up a push kick and just make him think. Now when he comes in the next time, he's going to be thinking, am I going to throw that snap kick? Am I going to put the push kick up there? And that's going to give me more time. If I'm just doing my drills and doing my sparring and I'm just simply waiting for the other person to do something, very soon I'm going to be overpowered and I'm not going to have the space that I need to implement my technique. It's as simple as that. So let's have a look at the basics that you might use against someone. So I'm going to be the attacker now, as he's going to be the defender. So as I try and push him, now remember we're including the kicks and my kicks. So he's got to stay outside of my kicking range as well as my punching range until he's ready to do something just with the basics. So we haven't even started using the application yet. So he's going to stay out of that range, and when I move in, whoa, he's already gone for the snap kick to the groin. It's a bit nasty. Now see, I closed off that side, so he's put up the push kick to make me think twice. Now I'm watching his feet and his hands, because he's just nailed me twice, right? So I want to move, and now I have that, oh, he just chopped me as well. So these little taps are making me think about what I need to do to get in. I no longer have this free reign of just coming in and doing whatever I want to him. This is a super important part that I guess we both see most people when they start out sparring. Would you agree?
100%.
You know, that they're not using the simple things in order to create confusion or hesitancy in your attacker or in your opponent in sparring. If you're simply waiting, then you know you're not using the tools that you have, you know, to create that doubt. You know, sparring, especially free sparring, is like a game of chess. You know, and if you're doing really obvious stuff like starting to throw kicks from way back, generally you're going to get caught, you're going to get nailed every time. So you need to treat sparring like a game of chess, and that's why you need these different techniques to create doubt.
You do a straight punch in every single class that you attend, and yet you don't think just to use them to help you to get where you need to be. Chops, punches, kicks, all of these really simple stuff will get you where you need to be.
So you use them as your building blocks upon which you start to develop your Kung Fu. So to make sure you don't fall asleep in this video, we're going to combine a couple of different things right now that we would probably separate out if we were teaching you from start to finish as we're going through this method of taking your applications to sparring. So right now we're going to do the gate drill, moving with our ranges, and we're now going to add the application, just one of them. We're going to add one of the applications now. Normally, we wouldn't include the basics, the kicks and the punches and the chops and all of that right now. We just get you to focus on one thing, and that's where your hands need to be to start or ignite your technique. So it's an ignition point. So as I was saying earlier, if I'm going to do this technique where I have my chow das into my gua choi, I need to feel that first technique come over this hand. Now, I'm going to turn side on, but you imagine this. So I'm moving in my gate drill, and my hands are moving and blocking. What I want to feel is my hand go this way, and then I know that if anything comes over this hand, boom, there's my technique. Now this is a whole nother level of feel and awareness, right? So this is why you have to take these drills, just work them. If you do them well, they're super fun. You can have lots of fun with a partner doing this stuff. So don't be really worried if you keep getting it wrong. You are going to get nailed in this process quite a few times while you're learning to sharpen each of these knives, because you're not just attacking, you're waiting for the opportunity to do this specific technique. So that means as he might kick me while I'm focused on my hands, I'm like, oh, damn it. It's okay, it's fine, you're going to get nailed, but you're trying to work this one particular technique, understand? So we're not anywhere near realistic fighting or self-defense yet. Okay, so I'm outside of kicking range. Remember, I'm adding straight away all my basics in because we're keeping the video short. So I might go for a little snap kick here, I might pop that up like that, might have a chop to just keep him out of the way. I've got my blocking going, boom. And as I felt my hand go that way, I'm watching this hand because I'm worried about that. That's all I'm worried about, because I know if something comes here, boom, I have that there, right? And again, that's the feel that you develop by using the techniques. Now, it goes without saying that if as he's raining really super 100% powerful techniques at me, then my blocks and parries need to be rock solid. You're not going to get away with like little slaps and little chows with no structure and things like this. If as he fires a punch at me, my body structure and my chow here, the arm structure, need to be rock solid, or it's just not going to work. It's as simple as that. Our slap hands, when we slap, the other person should be like, ow! Like, it's not caress hand gently. There's no technique in Kung Fu that's caress hand gently that I know of. So it's like we have our slaps. Oh, I thought he was going to go, see? That's all right. So we didn't speak about that earlier though, did we? Reacting when you don't need to. That's the hardest thing. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a sec. So what we're now doing is we're moving. I'm using these techniques. I might throw the snap kick up. I might throw a side kick underneath. I'm using my gate drill. Oh, I had him. But he had me as well, you see? Now that's a learning process. So he's nailed me here and I'm bang, I'm right there. So again, did it work? Yes. Who's dead? I don't know, one of us. But that's it, you know? So when you choose to go, you go. If I get hit, he gets hit, it's okay. That's learning. Whoa, I had him there, wide open, just getting those techniques. I might chop there, see? I just used my basic, had him with the chop, and I probably, from here, well, after that chop, I could have gone whack straight into that first chowdar as well, right? So just trying to highlight each of the points for you here. All right, I think that's about it. The next thing we just need to show you is to not stop, right? So now, when I do the technique, I'm not going to stop, I'm going to take it to the end. So once I choose to go, I go. Yeah. Whoa, got him again. Boom, boom, and then, so once I choose to unleash that technique, again, I just really go to town and I don't stop. Obviously, we've got no gear on at the moment, we're not taking it, we're not hitting each other hard. Again, this is nowhere near sparring or self-defense realism yet. We're still getting the feel for these techniques, getting our distancing and working it like that. Yeah. And boom, wardrobe change. We are now wearing protective gear. We have a mouth guard, which we don't have in right now. We have fingerless gloves. We have groin guard on and we have shin guards. This is what our students will wear when they're sparring to keep yourself safe. Mouth guard most important. There is no teeth world. Teeth are expensive. All right, so we're going to go into what we call attacker and defender sparring right now, which is the next step in our process of working out how to do our Kung Fu for Rizzle, right? That means for real, by the way. So, attacker defender is probably what I prefer as a teacher to practice the most for my students because it's as close as we get to self-defense. Free sparring is great for reactions and timing and fitness and everything, but it's unrealistic in the sense that it just keeps on rolling and keeps on going. Where in a self-defense situation, you'll find yourself with a ignition or somebody doing something towards you and you want to finish that, done, and then move on. You know, in multiple attacker scenarios, obviously that's going to be a little bit different, but for now, we're talking about two people having an altercation, so we're calling that attacker and defender. So what does that look like? It looks like me taking some kind of defensive position against somebody who's trying to attack me. Now, my attacker is going to choose a moment to come in and do something. So we're going to use all of the things that we already have shown you, our tools, to try and diffuse this situation. And what we want to do is try and eliminate that attack as quickly as possible, right? Without getting clipped or hurt ourselves. That's it, you reckon? I reckon. So, do you want to be the guinea pig or do you want to attack or defend to start?
I'll attack you.
He's attacking me. He's like, oh, I'm going to attack you. I told you he was a nasty person. All right, so remembering we had the two techniques today, So we had our juice out into our claw, juice our circle into our claw, and we also had our chow da. For succinctness of the video, in the last section we only showed you the chow da technique, but now I'm going to bring both of those techniques into the equation. In real life, I would have practiced both of them separately before I did this, or else you'll probably end up getting hit a lot more. So now we're just going to start out slow again, so we can bring the intensity right back. As he'll probably ramp it up because he loves to try and hit me, but when you're practicing this with a partner, start out at a low intensity and then build it up so that you can have confidence in your partner. And we're now getting into a range where he's actually trying to touch me or hit me now. There's no power still, but he's actually trying to make contact in some way. Again, phone call. Cut. All right, so now we're going to get into that attacker-defender sparring. We're going to see how many times as he can nail me before I can get my technique out. So this is a game. It's like super fun, and you know, I can say that all those people who are starting out sparring out there, the actual fear of getting hit is way worse than actually getting hit. And the emotional content of getting hit is probably the thing that affects most people more than the actual pain. Getting hit in the head, you know, unless it's a real cracker, is generally, when you're doing it at this level, is not so bad, as long as you keep your mouth closed. Remember, mouth closed, tongue to the roof of the mouth, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, so you don't have your jaw open, because that really hurts when you can't chew for like a week. So I just told you not to be worried, didn't I? And then I freaked you out with that story. All right, so we're going to add everything together. I'm going to do both techniques, but all I'm interested in is, if you're in a self-defense situation, you want as much space around you as possible. That is not always going to happen, but when you're practicing, you want to create space, okay? Mouth guard in, no talking. So I'm going to have my guard, I'm going to move, I'm going to be pretty fluid, I'm creating distance using my footwork, my basics, and then when I feel that opportunity, hopefully the techniques that we're showing you today come out and not some others. All right, touch squat. All right, we've got. So you'll see my feet got a bit tangled up there, that's okay. You see I went straight into the end of the technique there because I could. Oh, got me there. See, I told you something else would come out. That's the circle into the claw. So what we're kind of doing there is we're getting a little, as you know, I love sparring, so we're getting a little continuous. What would be great when you're starting out is to do it a little bit more like this. So as he's going to attack, once I kind of hit him or touch him or complete a technique, he's going to stop. Because what I'm doing here is when I finish the technique, I'm not wailing on him. I'm just finishing my technique, boom, and I'm going to hold it. I'm not actually finishing my techniques as yet. So when you're doing this attacker defender stuff, when you reach that position where you would have nailed him, just break and restart. So it's like pause, go, pause, go. It looks a bit more like this. So then we break, another reset, attacker defender. Notice my footwork, I changed because of the distancing. We're out of camera problem. So we'll be out of camera now. Sorry about that. That wasn't in the techniques, but anyway, still kung fu. Oh, he just got me nailed. Told you were going to get nailed. Yeah, so that's basically it. We'll keep it short. Azzy's going to have a go now. I'm going to attack him.
Okay.
You alright?
Yeah.
Cool, well done. Oh, that's it. So simple way to, excuse me, take those techniques from the forms, applications. Now we're doing the attacker defender. So as you see, it gets messier, it gets more freestyle. We're trying to work out where and how to put those techniques into practice.
Yeah.
Have some fun with that. Come back for some free sparring in the next segment.
Okay, so we just did a little bit of attack and defender sparring, which we think is the most useful and relevant to self-defense, because you can put all kinds of scenarios into that training, and it's focused on improving yourself against someone aggressively attacking you. So now the last thing you can do is you can have fun. You can play the game of free sparring. This is basically sport fighting in general. So if you do any kind of sport fighting, or you just like to fight for fun, it is a mutual agreement of two people to simulate a fight together. And so if you are interested in doing some competition fighting against people of other styles in some kind of agreed mutual fighting or combat situation, then you want to be able to do this. And also you want to be able to take the techniques and movements and see how they apply to whatever you want to apply them to. So if you want to do a competition, for example, you've got to see what we've got in our vast style, and you've got to look at the rules, and you've got to see what can I use here. Chances are probably not going to be able to tackle them in the face. In the eyes.
80% of what we do is out the door. So you got to work out, if you're going to do the sport fighting, which applications you can use, the straight punches, your elbows maybe, what kicks you can use, and then you do them in the same manner that we've done, and then take it to this free sparring.
Also in free sparring, this is a good chance, if you want to be good at fighting against something in particular, or you think there's a weakness in your game of playing sport fighting, then you can work on that. Let's say you think, oh, anytime someone's bigger than me, they just grab me and throw me down on the floor. That's something you might want to work on in your free sparring. So we're going to have a little bit of free spar, but we've both mainly done jaga, so chances are we're probably just going to have some swinging arms.
Wailing on each other. This is still not full power sparring. This is again for the video. We're not trying to kill each other today. And sparring should be fun. Like if you're going to spar with someone and you feel like at any moment they're just going to knock you out to show you that they're better than you, then that's probably not going to be fun, and it's probably not the kind of sparring partner you want. You know, you want to be able to engage in your sparring. For the most of us out there, you've got to go to work the next day. You know, you're not jumping in the ring and fighting for 50 grand, you know. Relax.
Yeah.
Put your ego away and just have some fun.
It's very important. We really believe that touch sparring should be most of your sparring by a vast amount. Brain injuries are no joke. People who get hit in the head a lot, that is not something to muck around with, and we care about the health and safety of our students. So we generally, apart from occasionally ramping it up a little bit to feel what it's really like, most of the time you should be doing touch sparring. So we want to protect our students. We believe that, as I said, touch sparring is the most important. You can ramp it up sometimes, but most of the time touch sparring is what you need. It's going to be the most fun. It's going to give you the most improvement because you won't have any injuries that will stop you from training.
Okay, now we're going to do some pre-sparring. We've got our gear on, ready to go. Pre-sparring is like this. We're still only trying to get out those couple of techniques. So we have our chow das and we have our circle into our claw. That's all I'm actually trying to get out, but I'm using my basics. We'll be taking it in turns, what we call a tap it. Oh, no. We're just doing pre-sparring now.
Yeah.
We're just going for it. So, but we're just using our basics, still trying to get those techniques out. I should have taken my mouth guard out, but I didn't. All right, let's go.
And if other sentences happen to come out, that's free sparring.
Oh, he's just warning me. All right. Boom! Let's go. We're a bit standoffish. Whoa. Duck under it. Oh, out of camera, probably.
Sorry, we're having fun.
Oh, little love tap there. Whoa.
That was just good.
We've got the love tap again. We're both going to do the same technique at the same time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm commentating. Oh, so we're going for the same technique at the same time. We are.
I wouldn't have given the kick properly.
Huh?
That wouldn't have worked if you kicked hard.
That's all right. Again, we're only going about 50%. We're not trying to kill each other. Having fun. Ooh, happy times. Kind of forgot about using my basics. We are. Both of us a bit sloppy today, eh?
Yeah. Right, we can't want to do water.
So, it's all on Bill. Transparency. So you do something. Whoa. Done. We're both going to do the same thing.
Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on.
So what? We'll have some more fun. Oh, you love the rest, Ivy. There it was. You had me, you didn't see.
I should have.
You should have kept going.
I should have.
Stomp the groin. I want to start it. Move me down. Awesome. Round 3 coming up. Yeah, I was just chastising myself for moving my head, not my feet. Hold back on the camera.
Oh, me, insecure.
Whoa. Whoa, nice. I should hold too slow there. To town. Nice. Well done. Bit of fun. Watch the video. Try and implement those things we were doing. Just have fun doing it. Easy.